Hello, Aquano here, back for another Metaphor Refantazio video, and this time we're talking archetypes again. Yes, archetypes again. I really find the system very fascinating. This is my third video on it. Probably gonna just make this video, then a final video when I'm gonna master all of them. But today we're talking royal archetypes, and more specifically, which ones are actually worth it. Because obviously they're all good. I can't say this one is bad, this one is good, because they're all good. They're like the ultimate archetypes, yes? But they all have very, very expensive requirements. Not only in terms of like magla, because like they all cost like 30,000 magla to learn, but also every character needs to have like masters 2 or like more lineages. For example, poor Heisme kind of got fucked. He needs to like master 3 of them. So he needs Ninja 20, Dragoon 15, Tycoon 15. Now, yes, it's 15 and not 20, and the Tycoon is available right after. It's not the third one; it's the second one. But still, they can be very, very expensive. Are they worth it? No, like you see here in my main playthrough, I haven't unlocked all of them. I do have a couple save files when I try to invest into others. Some of them I have never played, but I did do my research, and I can also just look at the abilities they have to see if, in my opinion, are they worth the investment or not. So let's start with the first one. The Prince, we're not going to talk about if it's worth it or not in terms of like getting it, because obviously everyone unlocks it for free. But is it worth investing into it? Now, let me get this like out of the way. The Prince is the best one. The Prince is the best one out of all of them for a simple reason is that he has an ability that makes him resist everything. So yeah, resist all, pretty crazy. So you just resist everything. You take like half. I think it's half damage from every type of damage, every source. Also, if you're playing Magic MC or Physical MC, it's good for both. You have strong physical skills, you have strong magical skills, you have very strong synthesis skills that are both physical here. You have physical wind damage, you have magic fire damage. It's just so good. He has just pretty much a bit of everything. He resists everything. It's basically, in my opinion, the best archetype in the game. Very, very versatile. You can make him inherit any kind of skill to play him like more physical, more magic, more like support if you want, like with bunch of buff skills. Like if you were playing the MC on a certain archetype, just switch to Prince. You definitely want to master the Prince. Use all your XP items on the Prince to get the resist all skill ASAP. And yeah, let's just move on to the next. I don't have much to say about this except it's very good. Now, Stroll. Stroll has access to the Royal Warrior. Now, the Royal Warrior only requires you to master 2 lines, and yes, they can be pretty expensive. But like I said, the Warrior line is one of the cheapest ones, and Stroll is a party member you have since the beginning of the game. He has been with you since day 1, and so if you kept him on his Warrior tree, the Royal Warrior is not going to be that expensive for you. This one I unlocked it very fast because I already had like Samurai maxed way before I unlocked the Royal archetypes, and I already had like General because you needed General to get Samurai, right? So that's what I like about the Stroll one, is it kind of guides you into it very, very well. So it's pretty good. Now, the Royal Warrior, in my opinion, is very, very worth it. It's one of the best ones from what I've seen so far. It's very, very good for 2 reasons. First of all, Slash Surge is crazy. Like a 30% boost is very crazy. And Noble Warrior Soul. These 2 passives together, which are very, very expensive to... this one is very expensive to inherit, and this one is just not inheritable. So, very, very good in dungeons. If you have like a wave of enemies, you can literally just kill. You never, especially if you match him with other royal archetypes that have similar passives, you have almost infinite turns, and it's very, very good. He also has access to very strong synthesis skills. Deal severe physical damage, same thing, add a turn. Also, this has a very crazy synergy with the passive we just talked about. Because this costs 2 turn icons, right? And then if you kill, it gives you 1 turn icon. The thing is, if you kill that enemy, because of your passive, you're not going to consume any turn icon. So it's not like it costs you save 1. No. You save all 2. So basically, this synthesis costs 0 actions, turn icons if you kill. Not only that, but it gives you a 3rd one. So it's pretty good if you're doing if you're in a dungeon where there's enemies, a bunch of enemies are very like that you need this to one-shot them. Can be very good. So this is just a straight up upgrade. Like if you're playing Stroll and he's on Samurai and he's pretty close to attaining the requirements for Royal Warrior, just go for it. He's gonna be very good, especially for the late game content. I used him for the Dragon Trials, pretty good. Now Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg has honestly my favorite royal archetype, and in my opinion, the best. Why is it the best? Now, don't worry, I know I've been saying the same thing for all of them, but some of them are actually not that worth it. We'll get to them later. This one is very good for one simple reason. Well, 1.5. The skill called Omni Counter is just good. It's just very good. So literally, no matter what the boss throws at you, you always have a solid 15% chance to end his turn. Yes, because if you probably already noticed, if the enemy gets one of his attacks repelled by you, or repelled, his turn ends automatically. No matter if he has 8 turn icons or 10 turn icons, like some very hard bosses do later in the game, it just ends his turn. So the Royal Knight can be literally the difference between winning and losing sometimes, because the boss goes from 9 turns to 0 real quick. Also, the Noble Knight Soul can be very efficient if there's most bosses, even the ones who have AoE attacks, sometimes I'm gonna use some single target attacks to pick off your low party members that got low from the AoE attacks, and him being able to just use the Holy Knight Proclamation, which makes him taunt the enemy and guard while saving a turn icon, because this is his passive, gives you a turn icon after a proclamation skill is used. All of that together, pretty good. Also, I'm a big fan of Thunderstrike Thrust. Yes, it's medium damage, which is not that much, but being able to lower the defense of the enemy consistently without using a synthesis skill is very valuable. So, in my opinion, this is one of the best royal archetypes. I wouldn't say the best, because it's up to preference, and a lot of them are very good. But yeah, if you are very close to the royal archetype, this one is a bit more expensive than the royal warrior. If you are close to the royal knight, you should definitely invest into it, especially if you're using Hulkenberg as your tank. Okay, now let's move on to Heisme and his royal thief. Let me get this straight. When you got Juna, if the party member you replaced was Heisme, and you didn't invest much into him, do not get this. This is not worth it if you're not playing Heisme as much, especially if your Heisme doesn't have Ninja Max. Because Heisme unlocks his full potential when he gets the 3rd eye, which is very good, especially coupled with one of the items you can buy at the Night Magic Shop, which makes it so every time you dodge an attack, the enemy's turn ends. No matter how many turn icons he has left, it ends. Heisme is one of the best tanks in the game. He just dodges and like, hey, your turn is over. Very broken. I'm probably gonna abuse this on my New Game Plus. Very broken. Now the thing is, the reason why I think the Royal Thief is one of the least worth ones is because you see here, the Noble Thief's Soul depletes all of the enemy's turn icons if their attack is dodged. This is achievable with an item. And yes, it's better to have it as a passive because you can save on a equipment slot. But think the mix of this being not giving you that much that much anything new that's really game breaking compared to the ninja. If I was you, and I needed to like I have access to multiple royal archetypes right now, this will be on my like too high on my priority list. For example, if you have royal warrior, royal thief, and you're playing both Heisme and Stroll in your party, get the royal warrior first, because the ninja honestly does the job. Like, yes, the royal thief is obviously better, but the royal ninja does the job. Now, if you just really like Heisme and you already like built into it knowing that you will need the Dragoon and Tycoon, then yes, I've seen many people play Gunner Heisme. If you already have invested in the Gunner lineage, then yes, just get it. But this one is pretty expensive, because like, if you are someone like me who played like complete spoiler free and you didn't know that you're gonna need like the Gunner or the Tycoon, it's a lot of investment to get like a slight upgrade, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying the Royal Thief is bad, okay, Heisme fans? The Royal Thief is good. It's just that sometimes, for some people, it's not gonna be worth it. It's not gonna be worth the investment. Like, the Ninja is very, very good. It does the job. Okay, so that was for Stroll, Hulkenberg, and Heisme. Okay, now let's talk about the Royal Masked Dancer. So, this one is very, very peculiar, because if you have like put Juna level full world rank 8 and you can have access to it and you can see what skills it has, like, you might have been like a bit perplexed if you just saw that, well, she only gets 3 skills and 2 passives, and you might have thought this royal archetype is a bit underwhelming. Well, it's not entirely true. This royal archetype is very, very good, even better if you're playing your Juna as your magic DPS. This unlocks her high DPS potential with Magic Surge and Noble Dancer Soul, which means it's kind of like the equivalent of the magic equivalent of the Royal Warrior. It also gives you access to the 2 other dances you didn't have before. This is heavy damage, and honestly, even just for Magic Surge, it's already worth it if Juna is your magic damage dealer. Now, even if she's not, and you're just playing her for like the dances and like the versatility of the Masked Dancer archetype, this royal archetype is still very, very good. Because one thing people might not know is that this is not the full extent of what the royal Masked Dancer has to offer. It's not just 3 skills, 2 passives, and 2 synthesis skills. Even though these synthesis skills can be pretty good, it's not the reason why this royal archetype is very good. The reason why it's very good is because this gives you access to 3 exclusive masks that can only be used on the royal Masked Dancer. Actually, I lied. There's 5 of them, not 3. But yeah, you can see here: Dancer, Mend, Mind, Muscle, and Mercy Mask. And all of these give very, very strong skills. I mean, hey, some of them just give you like an automatic revive. Like, it's very, very crazy. I think it's if I'm not wrong, I think it's the Mend Mask. Yeah, the Mend Mask gives you like a revive. Like, it gives you an automatic revive to like any party member that dies. Yes, it's only once per battle, and it's not like broken, but it can be clutch. It can be very, very clutch. All of them give you very, very specific, very strong skills, like a lot of like heavy magic. Like I said, some of them give you healing, very strong healing. Like some of them give you like this one gives you 30% max HP and an automatic revive. That revive I was talking about is not something you have to use. It's just an automatic revive that happens when any of your other party members dies. Very, very good. It gives you these masks can give you almighty damage, can give you physical damage, like slice damage. It can give you like anything you want, as long as you have the necessary materials to craft these masks. So it can be pretty expensive, you have to farm for them, but if you have them on deck, the Royal Masked Dancer can be pretty good. Now, I just wanted to talk about that because some people might not know the full the full extension, the full potential of this archetype. So yeah, I wouldn't rank this too high on my priority list. If you have, for example, if you're playing Juna, but you also have 2 other party members that you want to roll archetypes, this wouldn't be high on my priority list because the Persona Master does its job very well. I've used the Persona Master on every single like endgame boss, and it's been good. I've done every boss except the New Game Plus bosses and the final boss, but yeah, the Persona Master is just very, very good. Now, Yufa. Yufa's Royal Summoner is a bit weird. Because, I mean, the whole Summoner line is a bit weird because they all have really good things. The problem is, every time you upgrade, you lose some stuff. Like, for example, one of my favorite summoning skill is the Eagle Lion because it lowers the attack of the enemy. It can be very, very good just like to do damage while debuffing the enemy, which can be very, very clutch against late game bosses like the Trial of Dragons if you're playing Yufa. The problem is this one doesn't have it and this one doesn't have it. Now, the Royal Summoner is a lot better than the Devil Summoner, for sure. Is it worth it? Yes, as long as you're already invested in Yufa as your magic damage dealer. If Yufa is your magic damage dealer, then this is definitely worth it. It has a lot of strong skills. Now, a lot of the synthesis skills are very similar to the Devil Summoner, and you might think it's weird. Why is it the same thing? Like, look, synthesis skill, deal severe magic augmented damage to all enemies, may inflict hacks. Then you go here, deal severe magic augmented damage to all enemies, may inflict hacks. It's the same thing. The difference is this one doesn't require an item. It doesn't require like a summoning item to actually use the synthesis skill, which can be very good. So yeah, I would say this is the same thing as Juna, but I would rank it maybe a bit lower on the priority list than Juna. Like I said, all Royal archetypes are good, but are they worth it? Well, that's up to you to decide. This one only requires you to invest into 2 lineages, which can be pretty easy. But if you also wanna, if you already have other party members you wanna like invest in for their Royal archetypes, this one is even lower on the priority list, in my opinion. I think this is definitely the lowest in the priority list among all of them, but that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I'm not saying it's bad. This one is very, very, very strong, especially if your MC is physical and you need like a magic damage dealer. This can definitely do the job, but it's kind of low on the priority list. Now let's move on to the last one, which is let's keep it I'm gonna keep it a buck. This one is broken. This one is giga broken. If you're playing Basilio, if you like a Basilio and you already invested into him, for example, in learning the Brawler lineage, and he's already like, he already invested money into like buying equipment for him, etc. Like if you're playing Basilio basically, then you should definitely invest in that. Now I know that most people aren't maining him because you get him very late in the game. There's literally no full story dungeon in which you have Basilio, except the last one, which is which is kind of short and straightforward. So I know a lot of you guys haven't invested in Basilio, but if you have, and if you want to, this is definitely a good reason to do so. Absolutely broken. Now, this is literally just not a synthesis skills. You just use it alone. Extreme damage, and it inflicts weakness. This is broken, especially since one of the hardest bosses in the game either have no weaknesses or resist everything. This is broken. This is literally damage that has a Dekaja in it, so you don't have to waste time on your support using Dekaja to remove the buffs of the enemy. It's so fucking valuable. And it doesn't even end here. Systematic destruction. Hey, let me just ignore resistances. If someone resists strike, I don't care. I still do my full damage. This is the same. This is the strike equivalent of the Royal Warrior passive, which is good. But I do think that I do think that the Royal Berserker is stronger than the Royal Warrior, even though they're both very close and do the same job. So if you haven't already invested too much into Stroll, I do recommend getting the Royal Berserker. Now, I personally went for Stroll and his Royal Warrior just because, like I said, you get him since the beginning of the game, so it's very cheap to get this one, so I just got it. But this one is it's just so strong. This one is so broken, especially if you're like struggling against the Dragon Trials that have no weaknesses. This one is pretty good. Now, it doesn't even end here. Look at his synthesis skills. Severe almighty damage. Removes the status buffs, the repel buffs, and the strength buffs. Like, I don't know, man. Like, they gave him everything you want. Like, this is literally like the best archetype in the game. That or the Prince, for sure. This, yeah, hey, even has some slash skills if you need them, in case you don't need strike right now. It's just so good. I'm gonna just end it here. This one is just way too good. Now, obviously, the Prince, you get it right away, but investing in it is definitely the highest priority. I would put Prince at the #1 priority because you always have to play the MC. So prioritizing putting XP on the Prince, I would say that's #1. Now, #2 priority would be the Royal Warrior and the Royal Berserker, kind of like tied. Yes, the Royal Berserker is a bit better, but the Royal Warrior is cheaper in terms of investment because at that point of the game, you already have Stroll and Samurai and probably Commander too. So it's cheaper to get, and it gets the job done. So I would say #1 priority Prince, then Berserker, Royal Warrior. Then after that, I would say it would be the Royal Knight. Just because, like, same thing, Hulkenberg gets a huge upgrade. Like I said, you don't have to play Hulkenberg as you take. You can play Heisme. And Heisme can be better, technically, because dodging is higher odds. But the reason why I'm putting the Royal Thief below Hulkenberg in 4th place, because the Ninja just gets the job done. It's not that much of an upgrade, even though it's very strong. Hulkenberg is that much of an upgrade because she gets the Omni counter, which can be very very good. Now, after that, we have Juna in I think we're at 5th place. Yes, 5th place in terms of priority, because the Persona Master gets the job done. But if it's your magical damage dealer, you should definitely invest in it. Like I said, with all the masks you can craft that are exclusive to the Royal Mask Dancer, this one can be very, very good. Now let's just end this with the Royal Summoner. I will put it at the lowest rank in the priority tiering, because it's just kind of weird. Like, yes, it's good if you really need it, but these can get the job done. Also, you do lose some skills by upgrading, and sometimes it's just the same skills, just that you don't have to use the item. So yeah, I will put these are my tierings. Let me know if you disagree and why. I'm obviously not always right. This is not objective. This is my opinion. So I'll be happy to know yours in the comments. It was Aquano. See you guys next time.